Back to school independent work routines. Hey there, welcome back. I'm Jennifer from Positively Learning. This is our final episode. This is the series finale of our Special Educators Summer Series. We've been doing this all summer long. This is episode 9, and we've been talking about building your independent work system that's actually going to work. This is our back to school series. We are wrapping it up today, but we're not done. So be sure to hit follow. I'll be back with more videos. I'll be back with more podcast episodes. I just wanted to wrap up this series now, just in case you're going back to school. Where I live, students return this Friday. Students are coming back already. Now, if you have been enjoying a nice long summer and you are just finding this series today for the first time, welcome. I highly recommend hitting follow so you don't miss anything, but I also recommend hitting pause and going back through the playlist. There's a playlist with all 9 episodes, and you want to watch them in order. They are short and sweet. You can binge watch them all in a row, and every video has a quick action step, and that action step builds on the one before. So this is the final episode, and when you're all caught up, come on back and join us. We started off this series with a question. The question was, why does independent work keep falling apart? And the answer was, most teachers have materials, but they may not have the system. And without a system, materials can't run on their own. So what we did this summer together was we built the system step by step all the way through. Today's episode is all about your launch plan. But before we get into the launch plan, I want to say, if you've been following this series all the way through, you have already done all the work. This is just like the easy part. We're just wrapping it up. You've done the real work. You have gone through the tasks framework. You've identified the 3 skills we're going to focus on. You took inventory of your classroom materials. You audited tasks against 3 criteria we talked about. You built or evaluated your physical system setup in your classroom. We went through the teaching sequence. We ran the small group test, and then we troubleshoot. We looked at where the small group test revealed any leaks, and we fixed them. This was not a watching YouTube series. This was building something. And what you built is exactly what most teachers take months or years trying to figure out on their own. But you've got this ready for back to school, which means you're going to walk into your classroom with a system that's already been tested, already been taught, already had its leaks found and fixed. And that is huge. You're going to be feeling much, much better walking into the classroom. You have an organized space, tasks are ready. Students are going to know what to do when you show them the system. So now let's talk about your launch plan. It comes down to these 5 questions. And if you've been following this series, you have the answers to all 5 of these already. So question number 1 is what skills? These are the 3 priority skills that we talked about in week 2. These are the anchor. Every task in your independent work rotation is going to connect to one of these skills. And if you haven't written them down, that's the first thing I think you should do today. You want to get 3 skills written down. Everything else is going to hang on those. Question 2, what tasks? So we want a ready pile of tasks. We talked about this in episode 3 of the summer series. These are the tasks that connect to those skills we just talked about, and they are at the student's independent level. They have the 3 criteria, which is clear start, clear work, clear finish. And we went through a task audit. And if anything needed to be adjusted, we did it then. These are the tasks I recommend putting in your opening rotation. We don't want to put out all the tasks that we have. We want these specific tasks for your students to walk into when you're ready to show them the routine. Well, speaking of routine, question 3, what routine? This was from episode 4. We talked about visual schedules, finished bins, work systems, rotation schedules. These should all now be physically set up in a place, labeled, and ready to go. We don't want to keep this on a planning document. We want this in the classroom. And question 4 goes right along with it. What supports? We talked about the teaching sequence in week 5. We know some students are going to be ready for that routine, and some students are going to need 1, 2, 3, or more weeks to practice it. But that is okay because you've got the plan. We talked about what that teaching sequence would look like with the modeling and the practicing with support and then less support to lead students to independence. So you definitely want to review that video. You already know how to move through it. You don't have to figure this out as you go. And the last question is what's scheduled. Now, this one we really haven't talked about too much. We mentioned it briefly in the tasks framework, but this is kind of that icing on the cake. When does independent work run in each day? Do you have a block? How long is the block? What are you going to be doing during the block? Are you going to be pulling small groups? This question, or the answer to this question, is what's going to connect the independent work system that you've built to the rest of your instructional day. Because we don't want this system just to run in isolation. We want it to run in your schedule. So we want to lock in a window, put it on the schedule. It doesn't exist until it makes it to the schedule. 5 questions. If you have answers to all 5, you have your launch plan. Now, here's an overlook of what we talked about all summer long. So if you need to spot check any of this, you know where to go. We started off in the very first video talking about independent work and why it falls apart. Then we went through the tasks framework, TASKS. Then we did our small group test, ran the test, troubleshoot the test, and now we're here for the launch. Here's your setup. What I want to do now, as we take a look at this overview, I want to paint like this wonderful picture for you of what this can look like in your classroom. Let's say you've gone through this entire framework. So students know what to do. And maybe this is the 3rd week of school. Maybe this is the 2nd month of school. It does not matter. Whenever it's ready for you. Your classroom's set up and your students have walked in. They already know the independent work routine because you taught it to them, modeling it, walked through it, practiced it with them right there. Independent work time starts. Students go to their tasks. Now, maybe not all perfectly. There might be a student who's stalling at the start, a student who finishes fast and then looks up, but you know what those mean. You know what those signals are, and you know which part of the system they're pointing to, and you know how to fix it. You're pulling up your chair to the small group area, gathering a group of students, you sit down, you start working with them. You are teaching and you are staying at the table, not because the rest of the classroom is running so perfectly without you, but there is a system in place. Students have tasks they can actually do. The routine that you set up is telling students what comes next. The environment is directing them. It's not all on you. So you can actually go teach. And this is not make believe. This is what a system makes possible. You've built the system. Now you are ready to use it. All right. So your action step for the week is to grab your clipboard. Maybe it has your IEP goals and objectives that you've just inherited. Maybe it has a lesson plan that you are teaching and you just got access to the curriculum. You have this whole system built out. And now you have your reality. You have the skills you're going to be working on. I want you to go to the TaskBox Club. I'll put a link in the show notes. You can see all of the tasks inside the club without being a member. This is public. You can just click on the link, grab your clipboard, use the search tool, and type in that skill. And then you can filter it by different grade levels and whatever you want, different themes. Then you can see what skills pop up. If you find skills that you want and you want to join the TaskBox Club, it is a membership. It's $14 a month. It includes the tasks framework that we've talked about, plus all of the printable tasks. It's the same format we've been talking about all series. Now, there's other things on the site, in the link. There's also file folders, work binders, and skill sheets, all downloads. That's the Independent Work Club. That is also a membership. It's $24 a month. It includes everything in the TaskBox Club. It also includes all of those other formats. There's more formats, more flexibility, more options, especially if you have students working at all different levels. Right now, as I'm recording this, at the end of July, I think we have like maybe 1,700 downloads. But maybe by the time you're watching this, we're going to be well past the 2,000 mark because we add new tasks every single day and we take requests. So I invite you to click the link, grab your clipboard, use the search tool, and find what you need. I'll put a link in the show notes. Now, whether you join the club or not, you do have what you need because you have built the system. That is real. That is yours. I wish you a wonderful back to school system. I'll see you back here for new videos. I'll also catch you inside the club. Thank you so much for listening. Let me know if you have any questions.